All right, so hopefully you have watched part 1 of the All Things Being Equal video. So what we're gonna do now is do part 2. Please make sure you've read the background information as well as completed the procedure questions. They're pretty simple and pretty straightforward as long as you look at the background information. If you haven't done that yet, please go ahead and pause this video and do that now. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna follow the procedure that is given in the part 2 of All Things Being Equal student guide. So what I've done is I've taken this small test tube and I filled it with potassium thiocyanate. You can see that is a colorless solution. It is very much clear. I'm gonna go ahead and do step 2, which says, or the next part of step 1, I'm sorry, which says to put 10 drops of iron nitrate in the other small test tube. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so there's my 10 drops. So hopefully you can see this is like a very light orange color. It's kind of like a yellow-orange color. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I am going to follow step 2, which says to mix the two solutions together into a large test tube. So I'm taking my potassium thiocyanate, colorless solution, and again, still colorless. And I'm going to go ahead and dump in my iron nitrate. I just put the whiteboard behind because I felt like it was a good reference for the colors. So hopefully you can see a little bit of a difference. So go ahead and record your data. I'm gonna go ahead and follow step 3, which says to put equal amounts of this mixture into 3 small test tubes, 1, 2, and 3. So I have them labeled on the whiteboard in the background, so hopefully you can follow along. So I'm gonna go ahead and distribute this mixture. All right, so it looks like we have approximately equal amounts in each of our small test tubes. I have a little bit left over, so I'm gonna go ahead and just, all right, approximately equal amounts in each of our small test tubes. We're gonna leave test tube 1 alone just so we can use it as a reference. Actually, I'm gonna move that over so the bar is not in the way there. So we're gonna use test tube 1 as our reference. It's this one right here, the furthest on the side here. Then we're gonna play with test tubes 2 and 3, okay? So we're gonna play with test tubes 2 and 3. So to test tube 2, I'm going to go ahead and add a higher concentration of potassium thiocyanate. The original concentration was 0.001 molar, and this is going to be 0.1 molar potassium thiocyanate. So I'm going to add 4 drops of that 0.1 molar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So there's your 0.1 molar solution of potassium thiocyanate mixed in with our original mixture. It is that middle test tube there, test tube number 2. So go ahead and record your results. I'm going to do the next step, which is step 5. So make sure by this point you have answered questions 4, B, and C. I'm going to go ahead and do step 5, and step 5 is adding in 4 drops of 0.1 molar solution, sodium solution, where it's called sodium biphosphate, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and add this into the 3rd test tube. I'm going to do the same 4 drops, so I'm going to do that into this test tube over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stir it up a little bit. Let me add a couple more drops. There, that's better. All right, so there's your test tube 3. So we've got test tube 1, which is our original, which had the 0.001 molar potassium thiocyanate with the iron nitrate. Here's our test tube 2, which is the original mixture with the 0.1 molar potassium thiocyanate added in. And here's mixture number 3, which had the sodium biphosphate mixed in with the original mixture. At this point, you should have all the information you need to complete part 2 of the all things being equal activity. By the time you come to class tomorrow, you should have completed parts 1 and 2, including your graph and all of the questions.